Hello students, this is the second part of the topics that's in your first quiz, and I wanted to go over this one. This problem is a linear equation. It says y equals negative 2x plus 3. Notice negative 2 is the slope, and that means that the graph will lean to the left. So they're asking us to select which one of these graphs will represent our equation. We can tell these two will not because they're leaning to the right. That means it's a positive slope. So it narrows it down to these two. Now, the way that we're going to find out which one that we'll use is when we look at our equation, y equals negative 2x plus 3. Notice our y-intercept is 0, 3, and our y-intercept's negative 2 over 1. So when I go to look at the graph, I'm going to see where it crosses at 3. And notice it would be this one. It crosses at a positive 3 right there. The other one crossed at negative 3. So that would be the one we choose. Okay, so let me look at the next problems. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we've already talked about this, how to write an equation given 2 points. We just did that in the last video. You're using, let me find my equations here. You will have to first use y equals, or m equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. You'll have to find your slope first. Then you'll have to plug it into this equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You'll fill in y1, m, and x1. And then you will get it into this format, y equals mx plus b. So you're given these points, so that's what you'll do with that. Okay, another one, let's see, that's the same thing as what I just told you. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. It says find an equation of a line satisfying the following conditions. And notice it's just a horizontal line that goes through a point. So let me sketch this out for a second. Here's your graph. And it says it goes through the point 1, 3. So let me plot this for a second. We go over 1 and up 3 and put a dot. And it says it's horizontal. So horizontal means it's going through this way. So they want that, the graph of that line. Well, notice this is our y-axis, and our point that they gave us was 1, 3. So notice 1 is our x and 3 is our y. So our equation for this would be y equals 3. It's only because it says it's horizontal that works. So we'd select y equals 3. It's a horizontal line. If it's vertical, we'd have x equals 1. Let's see. Now, this is something that a lot of students miss on the test. It says use the intercepts, and it gives you an equation 8x minus 3y equals 24. It says use the intercepts to graph. What that means is you have a table of points. This is my x, this is my y. My intercepts, I'm going to let this be 0, and then I'll let this be 0. So first of all, I'm going to find my y-intercept. I'm going to let my x be 0. So if I let x be 0, that crosses that out, and it looks like this. Negative 3y equals 24. Well, if I solve that equation and divide both sides by negative 3, so I'd have y equals negative 8. That goes in here. That's my y-intercept. Now the next one is let my y be 0, so I cross this one out. So I'd have 8x equals 24, divide by 8. And so my x would be 3. So I would use these 2 points, 0, negative 8, and 3, 0, to graph. So if you look at this graph, you can see that's what they did. They plotted a point. Now, I want to go to this. I want to extend this. Let me go to this little graph. Okay, so if you was plotting this, you got to be careful because these points are counting by 2s. See, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and this is counting by 2s. So like on our y, it's a negative 8, so we put a dot there. And on our x, it's at 3. We'd have to put the dot between the the 2 and the 4. So be careful on that problem. Okay, so pay attention to your scale. And now you're getting into solving. These problems you should be able to do. It's algebra. You're just distributing 8 through, and you're going to distribute a -2 through these. So let me write this equation down. Let me write it down and I'll help you work through it. Let me see. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time, so let me just write this down. 8 parenthesis x minus plus 1, this is mine, equals 5 minus 2, 8x plus 6. Okay, so what happens is I want to distribute first. So I'm going to multiply these out first. So I'd have 8x plus 8 equals. I'm going to distribute the -2. I'm just going to bring the 5 down. Distribute the -2, so it'll be minus 16x minus 12. Now I'm going to combine like terms. This is my next one. So I have 8x plus 8 equals -16x. Then take 5 from 12, so I have -7. Okay, now I want x's on the left and numbers on the right. So I'm going to add a 16x underneath here. And I'll move my number over, so I'm going to do -8 on this side. Okay, so I have 16 plus 8, so that's 6, 12, what do I have? 6, 7, 8, be 2, 22x equals, then I have -7, 14, 15. So, now divide both sides by 22. That's not right. Let's say 16 plus 8, 6, 12, oh, I can't add. There we go, 24. I was like, something's not right. 24. Okay, and now what happens is I need to reduce my fraction. So if you notice, a 3 would go in both of these, so that'd be a -5. 3 goes in that, it'd be -8. So x equals -5/8. There we go. So that's how you go about solving that equation. So distribute the -2 part first. Okay, and let's see what else we have here, if there's anything else. That's solving for y. So if they ask you to solve for y, move the 12x on the other side and divide each term by 4. So you can do that. And here we go. Perimeter formula. It says the perimeter of a college basketball court is 84 meters and the length is twice as long as the width. What are the length and the width? So when you, it says that you're dealing with a rectangle, you have this, and this is width, and this is length, width, length. Now, what happens on this is says the length is twice as long as the width, so length equals twice as long as the width. We're dealing with perimeter, it means add all the sides up. So notice that's like having a 1W and a 1W. So that'd be 2 plus 2 be 4, 5, 6W. And it says the perimeter is 84. So we want to divide both sides by 6. And width equals 6 going to 8, 1. We have 24, 6 times 4. So my width is 14. If I plug that back into here, plug in 14, 2 times 14 would be 28. So notice we'd have 14 meters and 28 meters. So that's just an example of some of the topics that's in this section. If you have any other questions, let me know and I'll be glad to help you.